Out of sheer boredom, she casually opened her husband's computer, only to stumble upon a shocking secret. On his social media account, a girl's profile kept appearing repeatedly, and her relationship status was explicitly listed as single. This filled Lisa with an uneasy sense of dread. Although the photos didn't show the two being physically intimate, the look in their eyes revealed an undeniable spark between them. To test her suspicions, Lisa quickly applied elegant makeup and sprayed on her husband's favorite perfume. When he returned home from work, Lisa dropped her usual cold demeanor and took the initiative to wrap her arms around him affectionately. Unexpectedly, her husband merely gave her a half-hearted kiss on the cheek and turned away. Lisa assumed he was simply exhausted from work. Late that night, while both were sound asleep, her husband's phone suddenly received a text message. Nick hurriedly closed the screen, but his wife had already caught a glance. Lisa immediately demanded to inspect Nick's phone. Nick refused to comply, claiming it was just a work message from a colleague. But no matter how he defended himself, Lisa refused to believe any colleague would send work messages at 3 in the morning. Seeing her husband stubbornly refuse to hand over the phone, an enraged Lisa lunged forward to grab it. In the next second, her husband violently threw the phone across the room. Lisa never expected his reaction to be so extreme. The next morning, feeling guilty about her reaction, Lisa offered to take his phone in for repairs. Her husband turned down the offer, making the excuse that the phone was old anyway, and he was already planning to buy a new one. Lisa let the matter drop. That afternoon at the company party, Lisa saw the girl from the photos in person. The girl's young, attractive face instantly triggered a deep sense of insecurity in Lisa. Even worse, her husband lavishly praised the girl in front of all the employees and invited her on stage to share a toast. Watching this unfold, Lisa's face darkened with rage, but to avoid making a scene, she suppressed her anger. As soon as the speeches ended, Lisa caught sight of her husband sneakily slipping up to the second floor with the girl. A terrible premonition rushed through her mind, and she quietly followed them up. She soon discovered the two had slipped into a private office. To avoid making noise, Lisa took off her high heels and crept up barefoot to the door. Although she thought she was mentally prepared, seeing the scene inside broke her heart like a knife. Still, wanting to avoid a public scandal, she forced herself to endure it in silence. On the drive home, looking at Nick's satisfied expression, Lisa shook with rage. But thinking of her young son, who had been sickly since childhood and was only just recovering, she didn't want a broken home to hurt her child. She quietly swallowed the humiliation and refrained from exposing her husband's foul behavior. The next day when Nick arrived at the office, the girl, Anna, confronted him directly. She stated that she could no longer endure this hidden affair, demanding that Nick divorce his wife immediately and marry her, or else break off their relationship completely. At this point, Nick's mind was entirely consumed by Anna. His existing family was long forgotten. Under Anna's relentless pressure, Nick steeled himself to confront Lisa. Before he could even speak, Lisa directly confronted him, asking if he was seeing another woman. Nick was stunned and hastily denied it, claiming that wasn't the point. The point was that their marriage was broken and it was better to part ways early. Seeing her husband still playing dumb, Lisa poured out everything she saw and heard the previous night in one breath, leaving Nick utterly speechless. Lisa then issued a stern warning. If he dared to divorce her for Anna, she would report his financial fraud to the police. Nick would not only end up in prison, but also be left empty-handed. Nick never imagined his wife held such a trump card. To force a compromise, he decided to reach out to Lisa's best friend, confessing that his marriage with Lisa was over and asking her to persuade Lisa to let go. The friend replied that getting rid of Lisa was no easy task, and then revealed a terrifying detail. When Lisa was young, her ex-boyfriend was secretly cheating on her with another girl. One day, that ex-boyfriend mysteriously fell off a cliff and died. Due to a lack of evidence, it was ruled an accident, but many believed Lisa was behind it. Hearing this, Nick saw a glimmer of hope. He believed that if he could get evidence of Lisa's past crime, he could force her into a divorce. He immediately traveled to the cliff where the incident occurred and contacted the girl who was dating the ex-boyfriend back then to ask for details. The girl recalled feeling monitored during their date that day. When the guy went to check, a scream echoed from the cliff, and by the time she reached the edge, he had fallen and lost his life. She believed Lisa was responsible, But strangely, Lisa had a solid alibi. Her teacher found her practicing violin in the classroom at that exact time. Without physical evidence, the incident was deemed an accident. Hearing this, Nick felt chills run down his spine. If his wife was truly a killer, he was in grave danger. What he didn't realize was that Lisa was secretly watching him and had overheard the entire conversation. Her eyes burned with malice, yet she didn't attack Nick directly. Instead, she quietly tailed him. She discovered her husband went to meet Anna's parents, who were very pleased with him. Driven past her limit, Lisa gave Nick a final ultimatum upon his return. Either break up with Anna or face legal judgment. Nick couldn't bring himself to let go of Anna. He tried to use her ex-boyfriend's death to blackmail Lisa into backing down, but Lisa wasn't flustered at all. She scolded him for blabbering and pulled out her phone to call the police, determined to make her unfaithful husband pay. Panicked, Nick begged for mercy and agreed to return to his family. Under Lisa's watch, he called Anna to break up. Before he could say it, Anna excitedly announced that her parents were thrilled with Nick and were setting a wedding date. Hearing this, Nick hesitated again and couldn't bring himself to end it. Seeing his hesitation, Lisa's heart sank to the bottom. Without another word, she threw Nick out of the house, keeping the home and her son, telling Nick to face the consequences. Facing financial ruin and potential imprisonment, a desperate, terrifying thought formed in Nick's mind: silence his wife forever. Knowing Lisa's habit of night running, Nick waited in his car along her usual route late at night. Sure enough, a female runner appeared in his line of sight. As she ran closer, Nick slammed the accelerator and hit her. Panicked, Nick checked his rearview mirror and saw the woman wasn't dead yet. Hardening his heart, he put the car in reverse, floored the gas, and ran over her body again. After confirming she was dead, Nick fled the scene satisfied. Instead of going home, he went straight to his office building and intentionally made small talk with the cleaning lady, faking that he had been working late all night to build an alibi. Exhausted, Nick returned home. Just as he picked up a glass of liquor to calm his nerves, he turned around and saw Lisa standing right in front of him, safe and sound. Nick's heart nearly stopped and his body shook uncontrollably. When Lisa mentioned she had changed her running route at the last minute, Nick realized with horror that he had killed the wrong person. Trying to hide his panic, Nick pretended to be calm. Lisa had no idea what had happened, assuming her husband had simply had a change of heart. The next morning, Lisa returned the car keys to Nick. After Nick left for work, Lisa went out for groceries and found the road blocked by police. She learned that a single mother was killed in a hit and run while night running. Chills ran down Lisa's spine, but she felt relieved. If she hadn't changed her route, she would have been the victim. Little did she know, that woman had unwittingly died in her place. Meanwhile, police investigated the area. Thanks to Nick's alibi, he was temporarily cleared of suspicion. But learning the victim was a mother of three filled Nick with immense guilt and remorse. Driven by guilt, Nick walked toward the police station to confess. But the officers were busy, and while waiting, news on TV showed no clues had been found. A message from his son arrived, rekindling his selfish hope, and he abandoned his confession. Meanwhile, Lisa went to a car wash and noticed her card had been charged a large sum. Demanding the receipt and surveillance footage, she was stunned. The video showed her husband secretly inspecting the car body the night of the hit and run. The car model matched the police alert. Connecting his recent suspicious behavior, Lisa realized the intended target that night was her. Furious and terrified, Lisa dialed the police. But Nick snatched the phone, made an excuse, and hung up. Fearing for her life, Lisa fled down the stairs and drove away. Nick repeatedly called her in panic, but she ignored him. Just then, police officers showed up at Nick's door. Nick thought he was caught, but they were only asking if he had seen any suspicious vehicles nearby. Relief washed over Nick, followed by a message from Lisa asking to meet at a restaurant. At the restaurant, Lisa promised not to report him because she didn't want her son to have a murderer for a father. Nick confessed his mistake and promised to make amends, but Lisa made a far more extreme demand. Fearing Nick might try to kill her again for Anna, she demanded they jointly murder Anna so they would become co-conspirators tied by a shared secret. Nick was terrified by her madness and refused due to the high risk. To prove her plan was foolproof, Lisa revealed how she had murdered her ex-boyfriend years ago. She used a loop recording of her violin practice to fake an alibi in the classroom, snuck out to the cliff, pushed her ex off, and rushed back. Shaken to his core, Nick realized he had no escape and agreed to plot Anna's murder. The next day, they checked into a seaside hotel to establish an alibi. That night, Nick left his phone behind, avoided cameras, and snuck out to Anna's house. Intending to kill Anna, Nick lost his nerve when he saw her beauty and gave in to temptation instead. As he prepared to leave, he heard a strange sound from the bathroom. Opening the door, he saw his wife covered in blood and Anna lying dead in a pool of blood. The next day, police inspected Anna's home but found zero evidence. Blood or DNA, everything was meticulously cleaned. The police chief deduced Anna had met with foul play and her body was hidden. Meanwhile, the town celebrated its annual bonfire festival at the lake. Nick and his friend rowed out to light the bonfire stack in the center of the lake. As they approached, police dogs on the shore began barking hysterically. Nick grew nervous and accelerated rowing. Reaching the bonfire, his friend noticed a foul, rotting smell. Panicked, Nick splashed gasoline and struggled to light a match. Finally, the bonfire burst into flames. The crowd cheered, the dogs stopped barking, and the police turned away. Lisa stood on the shore with a triumphant smile. Inside the 1,000 degrees Celsius blazing bonfire, Anna's body was being incinerated, destroying all evidence forever. In the end, the couple sold their suburban house and moved to another city with their son to start fresh.